What's going on? Welcome to No Sweat College Football, the channel for all things college football sports. I am a Florida State fan, but there's so much beauty in this game that I just need to talk about it all. And week 2 brought a lot of surprises, and let's just get into it. This week, my matchup of the week was Mississippi State against Arizona State. And in my previous video, I said that Arizona State was going to pull this one out in a close one. And guess what? Mississippi State went on and got the upset at home. What an incredible win for Jeff Lebby and that fan base, who it's been quite a while for them, honestly, and they deserve the win. I think it was well coached. I think they are out talented, but they played better in that game, and I think towards the end of it, things ended up playing in their favor. I think it was a huge mistake from Arizona State, whatever defensive scheme they went into with that last play. They weren't playing prevent defense. They left the guy one-on-one, and Mississippi State was able to take advantage with a huge crossing route or a huge post or whatever you call that route, up the middle of the field, and just a ton of green grass. The guy was just clearly outmatched on the outside, and Mississippi State took advantage. So credit to them. I am now 0 for 2 on my predictions for the year, but I'm 2-0 as a Florida State fan, so I'll take that change. And yeah, man, that was just a great game for Mississippi State. Another upset that we had was those Florida Gators versus USF. And USF, listen, a lot of people are talking about how this was a bad game for the Gators and how they should have won. Listen, USF is a good team. I think Boise State was a bit overrated when they played against USF. But that Florida team, man, they brought a lot of talent back that, they used last year to beat SEC teams, and USF went out there and just on the road, and they didn't dominate them, but they did everything that was necessary to go out and win this game. And I'm not going to troll the Gator fans. Listen, I've been to the bottom of the slumps when it comes to football, especially under Mike Norvell. I've been there, so I'm not going to sit here and troll the Gators, but Billy Napier is a problem for that team. You've got all the talent in the world. You've done a great job of recruiting and putting pieces into play to go out and field a team that should be able to go out and compete and take care of business against guys like USF. And your play calling is so bad. It is so bad as a rival. It's like it's exciting for me to see that you still want to go out and call plays. You have a sophomore running back, a true sophomore running back, who's averaging like 6 yards a carry to start the game, and then you take the ball out of his hands for a quarter and a half. You don't know how to use your timeouts. You continue to pass the ball when you should be running it and killing clock towards the end of the game. And it is wild to see. Listen, USF deserves all the props in the world for going out and winning this game. But Florida, they have a huge issue with that head coach. Huge issue. You got one of the most talented kids in the country at quarterback, and just, I don't know. You're putting Eugene Wilson to come off and play as a blocker. To block for your QB. Do you know what Eugene Wilson's not? I'm not going to get into it. Huge upset, though. Florida, their tough stretch of games is just starting. They got to play LSU, and then they play Miami. And I think they play Texas. They have the hardest schedule in the country. And losing that game to USF is just a huge blow to them. And I think what their expectations were for the season from a USF perspective, the fact that they're only ranked 18, as a Florida State fan, I'll say this, put them ahead of us. I know we look great against Alabama, but that USF team has now won two games against ranked teams. I know they're not ranked anymore, but we like this preseason ranking system, right? Give them their credit. Give them their credit, because Golish is going out and he's putting up great game plans together and putting his players in a great position to succeed against these teams who have more talent than them. It's not like he's going out and beating people who are on an even level. He is going out and beating teams who have more talent than him. So, hey, props to USF. Great game, too. And Florida, I think they could figure it out, but definitely some questions there, especially from a Napier perspective. I look at what's another big game, Oklahoma versus Michigan. That kid, that quarterback for Oklahoma, he might go out and win it all. And then when I say win it all, I say in terms of Heisman, that kid could sling it. It wasn't his best game, but that Michigan defense is really good. And I see a lot of hate being sent towards Bryce Underwood. I've seen even guys like Portnoy, who's a big Michigan fan, saying that, oh, he feels like they can't throw a forward pass again. You just put a true freshman quarterback who clearly has all the talent in the world to go up against a Brent Venables-led defense. Do we know who Brent Venables is? Brent Venables is one of, if not the greatest defensive line in college football right now. It's a hard environment, man, and I think, yeah, he didn't play great, but it's just his second game. You put in a true freshman to play quarterback if you're Michigan to build, maybe not for this year, but for the future. It's been very rare when a true freshman has been able to jump into a game and lead his team to a national championship. Michigan has a ton to build around, and they got to give him some time. From an Oklahoma standpoint, I think they're trending in a very, very good direction. They're going to be a problem this year in the SEC, so I'm curious to see how Venables is going to do because he was one of the best hires, in my opinion, when that coaching carousel, I think it was 2-3 years ago, went down. And looking at week 3, my preview, my game of the week is going to involve one of the teams I just mentioned. It's going to be that LSU versus Florida. And this is a huge game for Florida because if they lose to LSU, things could go really downhill. They need to do something immediately to kind of get the momentum shift back towards the way that they came into this season with. Kind of like what happened with Florida State, right? We went 2-10 last year. We beat Alabama, we dominated Alabama, and immediately things changed. And I think that's the type of response that Florida needs to have here. I think this game will make or break their season. I know a lot of people think that already happened with USF, but that's not a conference game. Realistically speaking, Florida has so many games on their schedule that they could go out and win, where the narrative around what that football program has this year can change quickly. And it has to start with LSU on the road because it does not get any easier after that. And if you go underwhelming loss against USF to Baton Rouge and you get dominated, I think that's it. And I think the Fire Napier chants are just going to continue to get louder and louder and louder. And what do I think is going to happen in this game? I had a lot of hope for Lagway coming into this season. I know that I'm a stats guy, right? So from a QBR perspective, PFF grade perspective, coming into the season, Lagway didn't look great, but he was a true freshman playing last year. If you just see him moving in the pocket and how he was able to avoid tackles, move correctly, make throws downfield, maybe he wasn't the most efficient, but for a true freshman, it was very impressive. And coming into this year, I thought he was going to just take another step forward. But I'm going to be honest, I have not liked what I've seen from DJ Lagway at all this year. I've always thought that he's had a funky throwing motion, but he made it work last year. Again, not to an elite extent, but for a true freshman, it was most definitely elite. And I see him this year, it seems like he's a bit more confident to take off and run. He seems like he's a bit more cautious when it comes to getting hit. It seems like he's overthrowing guys. And then I look at Garrett Nussmeier, who to me is QB1 of the upcoming draft. And I just think it's going to be very, very tough for his Florida team coming off an underwhelming loss to USF to go out and beat LSU. So my game of the week, my matchup of the week is LSU versus the Florida Gators. And I'm going with the LSU Tigers. I know it's probably the popular pick, but I just think that the defense is playing very well. And Florida's defense is very good, but they're playing on the road. I don't know if Napier has these kids' mind right. Like, how do you lose a game to USF due to one of your guys spitting in their face? The amount of issues that they had just substituting guys on and off the field, it's just the little things. I don't think Bill Napier focuses on the little things. And to go out and to go into Baton Rouge and to beat not just a great team, but a great quarterback, you got to be able to do the little things right. And I don't think Billy Napier has been able to figure that out throughout his tenure with Florida. And I believe LSU is going to go out and win this game. So that is my preview for week 3. That is my recap of week 2. This is No Sweat College Football. If you enjoyed it, if you don't mind giving me a like, a subscribe, sharing the video. Listen, I'm all in for the banter. Florida fans, I am 0 for 2 on my picks. So you should feel confident about this. You should feel confident. Maybe this is going to give you the boost and the win that I said, you guys can need to immediately shift the momentum back in your favor. But I just don't see it happening. And LSU fans, don't hate me for picking you. Like I said, you look better on paper. Just go out and get it done. Make me look good for once. Put me in the win column for once. But like I said, if you enjoy being here, like, subscribe. I appreciate you guys.